I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Today we're talking about setting healthy boundaries. Okay. So visualizing boundaries as a road is something that you need to do. That's most important. Visualize it as making a mark that someone else can't cross. It's like a mark in the road that someone can't cross. It's a line that you don't cross, several lines that you don't cross. That's what boundaries are. Boundaries are used for protection. They are to help you, to fuel you to do better so that you have self-respect, so that you protect your energy, you protect your time, you protect yourself, okay? So that's what boundaries are all about. And this is something that I could learn from as well. So we're all learning together, definitely learning how to set boundaries and to be at peace. This is more so for that peace factor that we all crave so badly. And if you've ever wondered why you struggle with peace, or not necessarily struggle, I'll reword that, why peace may be a challenge for you at times, it's because think to yourself, do you set enough boundaries? Do you have healthy boundaries? Are there unhealthy situations going on in your life, unhealthy dynamics, exchanges, things like that. So you definitely want to keep that in mind and consider those things when you're thinking about this, because that is powerful. That is going to help you to manifest a lot of good things when you preserve your energy, because you want to make sure you save all that love energy for yourself as well. Self-love is the best love, of course. So visualize it, think of it as a road. You're paving this safe haven for yourself. You're taking good care of yourself, okay? So there's a line in the middle. They can't cross that line. But what does that line say? All right, for instance, I'm not going to talk on the phone a certain amount of times a day, or I'm not going to answer the phone at certain hours of the day, whatever the case may be. That's a boundary. Or you don't allow certain things in terms of respect. You require a certain level of respect in order to give that back, whatever the case may be. Like setting basically setting a standard for yourself. Look at it that way. Okay, so how do you set the boundaries though? You have to ask yourself questions. What is your goal? What do you need? What are your desires? How are you going to take care of yourself? Making sure that you cater to those needs. And I don't want this to ever be misinterpreted as being selfish. Not at all. I'm not saying take this and be toxic with it. Not at all. Set healthy boundaries. That's why I said healthy boundaries. Not that, oh my gosh, I'm going to take this and I'm going to use it as a power tactic. No, this is used to protect you. This is used to help you, okay? So this is a good thing. Because we need it. You can't give all of your energy. You can't give all of your time away. You have to have some sort of stopping point. You have to have a balance. You have to have something for yourself too. That's why a lot of people get burnt out, because they honestly just don't step up and be assertive and say, okay, I have boundaries that are not going to be crossed here, and this is what they are. This is what I require. If you can't respect that, then well, it is what it is. But at the same time, it's like, look, you got to do what you got to do. And I feel like this is not as hard when it comes to friends for the most part, depending on that dynamic, because it should be a bit more comfortable for you to be open with your friends and say, hey, look, like, I don't really like when this is done. This makes me feel this way, or whatever the case may be. So that way your friend can be like, oh, all right, I didn't know that. Never mind. Let me like, make sure I don't do that anymore, or let me be more sensitive towards that. But with strangers, yeah, it's a bit more difficult to set boundaries with strangers. Or you could be the person where it's the total opposite. You might feel more comfortable setting boundaries with strangers versus close people around you. I don't know. We're all different strokes for different folks. And I want to make sure that I don't ever give you the interpretation that I'm saying whatever I said is set in stone. You are an individual for a reason. None of this is written and permanent somewhere. Like there are plenty of books on it, but that doesn't mean that what's right for me will always be right for you. It is open for interpretation. However, you see it, that's awesome. If you want to apply it, great. If you don't, that's awesome too. Like whatever floats your boat. This is just plain old suggestions, you know what I mean? because I am human just like you are. I do not claim to know the future. I do not claim to know everything. I am a student of life just as you are, okay? So there's nothing wrong with it. We live and we learn. We go through trial and error for a reason. Nobody has all the answers. We're all trying to figure it out. So nothing is 100% right all the time. That's not even a real thing. You know what I mean? So life is subject to change every second. Like everything changes. We talked about change and evolution before. So don't try not to get so stuck in your ways. Try not to be so stubborn doing something the same way all the time. Try something different. Step outside of your comfort.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Don't be that person that has one way of doing things for the rest of your life and that's it. Like you're not open to anything else. Anytime someone else tries to suggest something different to you or tries to help you, you're not willing to do that. Then setting boundaries is going to be very hard for you. You know what I mean? Because you have to be open minded. You know, you have to understand where you go wrong. If you never see where you go wrong, then no one can help you. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? If you want to be closed minded and not help yourself, then, well, only God can help you. That's all I can say. You know, so being stubborn is not going to help you to understand your boundaries at all. You know, you're just going to be set in your ways, and that's that. Nobody can tell you anything different. So, hey, if you have all the answers, cool, kudos to you. But I choose to be a student and learn. So if you want to learn, by all means, let's take this journey together because we're human. We all make mistakes. We all need to live and learn. That's how it goes. That's part of the process. Nobody is exempt from learning. Nobody's perfect. Nobody has all the answers. We're all trying each and every day. Okay, we're here to help each other. Let's grow together. Let's figure it out together as a team. How about that? You know. So with that being said, like I said, be comfortable with asking those difficult questions. Write those things down. Get to know yourself a little bit better. You know, see what's going on with you. Like what are some limits that you know right off the bat you have? You know, what are some that you may not be aware of? Okay, write those down then. You know, study yourself to the T. Study those around you and get comfortable with different interactions. You know what I mean? So how can you reach your goals? What is the goal? First of all, figure out what the goal is, then figure out how to reach the goal, okay? So, what needs to be a priority in your life so that you can reach and maintain your goals? Well, that's something you have to figure out. Trial and error. That's the only way you're going to be able to develop that strong sense of self and that strong sense of a goal. I can't give you a list of goals to live with. I know I have mine, and hopefully you develop yours over time with your personality, and it'll blossom from there. What are some obstacles that are keeping you from getting your needs met? That's a huge one that we all need to think about. You know, what's consuming your resources from getting your needs met? You know, what is taking all of your time, money, and energy? You know what I mean? What is that? So think about where you're exhausting yourself the most. Are you exhausted at all? And if you are, then that's a problem because that's a stage of burning out. That's the stage of burnout, the famous stage of burning out. I developed a strong sense of burning out over time because I take on the weight of the world. So I know that that's a boundary. I gotta stop taking on everyone's problems. That's my limit. I can only take on so many people within a certain frame of time. You get what I mean? That's a boundary. Like maybe 2 people a day. I'm not saying that for real right now. I'm just giving you an example. So maybe just 2 people I can help throughout the day. Who knows? Okay. That's the boundary. And if a third person comes, oh no, I got to see you tomorrow. You know what I mean? And when you set these boundaries, stand true to them. I know it's hard. I know we have giving hearts. I know we're very giving people. We feel soft about it and we're like, oh, well, I can help one more. If you can't, you can't respect your own boundary at least. If other people don't respect it, at least you respect it. You know what I mean? Don't tell yourself, okay, I'm only going to help 2 people today, and then you end up helping 10. No, that's not going to help you. That's why you're burning out. That's not helping you. You're not respecting your own boundaries. You're not respecting your own standard of living, okay? So you have to be strong. It's going to require you to be very strong-willed, and that's why I say you can't be stubborn at all. It's not going to help you. I cannot stress that enough. Being set in your ways is not going to help you. Do something different. Stop doing the same things expecting different results. That is literal insanity. That is why you're burning out. That's why you're tired. I know it's hard. I'm doing it right now. It's very hard. Nope. You know what? Let me rephrase that. It is not hard at all because the power of words. It is just a test. It is something that is new, it's unfamiliar. So it's a bit difficult, but it's not hard because when we say things are hard, we feel like we can't overcome them. We feel like we can't defeat them. And that's not true at all. It's mind over matter. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Okay. So also switching up your language, I've always talked about that. Switching up your language is definitely going to help you because that is going to make the process so much easier. Don't use words that are triggering for you. Like hard is a triggering word for me, so I don't like to say hard because then it makes me feel like it can't be done. You get what I mean?
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
So when you think of boundaries as being just a test, something, and that's exactly what it is, a test run to see what you're comfortable with versus what you're uncomfortable with. Okay. So that's all you're doing. You're literally just going through the motions and trying to see what works and what doesn't work. There's nothing harmful about it. I had to learn that over time. I used to think that, I don't know why, but I used to think that setting boundaries made me mean. I don't know why, because it's like you have a stopping point. You're telling someone no. You know when to say no to things. There's nothing mean about that. Do you want to be in the hospital? No. And that's where it can lead to if you don't set boundaries with yourself because stress, I'm telling you, stress is extremely unhealthy. It can come out in so many forms, and this is not a joke. You do not want to be putting your health in jeopardy because you don't want to set boundaries for yourself. It can get that extreme. And this is not a game. This is not a joke. This is your livelihood. This is you. You are trying to take care of yourself. This is what you have to do. You know what I mean? Like, this is not something that you should be questioning. And it took me a while to understand that. Like, you just have to get into the habit of having a boundary. And honestly, people respect you so much more when they know how to treat you. When you teach people, and this is what you're doing with boundaries, you are teaching other individuals how to treat you. You are teaching other individuals what kind of person you are. You're showing them what kind of person you are. You're telling them, hey, this is me. I like this. I don't like this. This is what, like I said, require, and this is what, I don't care for, whatever the case may be. And if you can't respect that, then this is what will happen. You're basically giving them the blueprint to work with. You know what I mean? Good morning. Look at Phyllis. Good morning, Phyllis. Oh my gosh, shout out to Phyllis. How you doing? So yes, you're giving them the blueprint to work with, okay? And that's healthy because it's not solely for them, it's mainly for you. Okay. And it's nice that they'll know too, but this is for you. This is self love. This is self care. This is a self care routine, by the way, because this is something that is going to better you in the future. It's teaching you limits, it's teaching you to be healthy in mind, body, and spirit. You can't give all of yourself to everyone all of the time. That is not a realistic standard to live by. That doesn't make any sense. You're not going to be able to live for yourself like that. You have to live for you, and then the rest will follow behind. You know what I mean? It'll follow suit. Because once you're taking care of yourself, then you can handle anything that comes your way. You know what I mean? But it's just knowing when to handle things, how to handle things, and what things you can handle. If it's appropriate for you to handle it or not. Some things, and with boundaries, I've also learned that it teaches you when to step in or when to intervene and when not. Because some things I had to learn, this is a boundary I had to learn. Basically, like, you can't help those who don't want to be helped. No matter how much I want to help you, if you tell me I don't need your help, I have to respect that boundary and say, you know what? Okay, I cannot force that on you. I cannot try to drive that out of you to see what I'm seeing at all. That's your boundary. All right, I have to respect it. You don't want my help. Okay, you like to help yourself. Cool. You're independent. All right, I'm gonna leave you alone. You know what I mean? And the old me used to try to pass that boundary, be like, you know what? I'm gonna try to get them to see what I'm seeing. No, 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 because that's burning myself out. Why would I do that? They don't want the help. It's not going to be a functional process. It's not going to go anywhere because they've already done step one, rejecting the help. So there's no point from then on. See, things like that. You can't be a superhero to everyone. It's not going to work. You can't be a superhero at all. We're not superhuman. We're just human. I know we watch all these films, we read all these books, and yes, you can definitely be strong-minded. You can be strong-willed. You can be have the strength of a champion. I believe those things. I definitely believe them. But going behind your excuse me, going beyond your human means is unrealistic. I'm just being real. It's just not something that you should practice. It's not something you should think about. Just be you, be comfortable with the human restraints, and just live life as a human. Stop trying to be superhuman and saving everyone around you. It's not a healthy road to go down. It's not going to do any good. I know it sounds great, saving everyone in the universe. It sounds, oh my gosh, it sounds amazing. I wish I could, but I have to respect the limits and say, you know what? All right. Everybody can't be helped. Everybody doesn't want the help.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
And actually, by you falling back, sometimes you might find that the person will come right back around and say, you know what? I thought I didn't need help, but I actually do. Those miracles do happen at times. Not saying that you should wait around for it, but if it happens, then okay, the door is open again. Go for it. If you feel comfortable, if you feel like you can take on that challenge and you want to help them, by all means, Godspeed. So it's up to you. But if you feel like you're burnt out and you can't do no more, then I recommend that you just don't do anymore. You just take a rest, take a break. And you can recommend them to someone else. That's also something that's helpful too. That's why everybody's special, because we all have ways of helping. When one person falls short, the other one may be able to pick it up. So we're all a team. That's how we got to see it. There's no competitions. Um, so, like I said, basically learning how to limit yourself, but in a healthy way. Not saying that you shouldn't take opportunities as they come. Definitely do that, but don't take every single opportunity, because every single opportunity is not going to benefit you. Every single opportunity is not meant for you to take on or to go after. That learning the difference is going to take time, because you have to really concentrate. You have to really focus and listen to your intuition and know, okay, should I take this on? Does it feel right? And if it doesn't feel right, if you get any type of gut feeling that says no, leave it alone. It's that simple. You know what I mean? And that's also a boundary that we aren't aware of. Our intuition. Our intuition places boundaries for us and we don't even realize it. Your intuition is telling you, hey, don't do that. That's dangerous. And you're like, what you talking about? I'm going to do it anyway. And then it end up being dangerous, right? Doesn't make any sense. That was a boundary. You crossed it. Now you have to deal with the consequence of crossing the boundary. You get what I mean? Your intuition is going to help you to set boundaries. You just have to be willing to listen. That's what I said. And I'm going to keep repeating it. Being stubborn is not going to help you. And that is a clear example of why. Going against your intuition is not going to help you. Going against, helpful suggestions, healthy suggestions around you, people trying to help you when they've been there, done that before 10 times over, and they're trying to show you something, or God is speaking to them and speaking through them to you, and you want to be a know-it-all and not take the help, then well, by all means, God bless you. Like I'm telling you, we just got to stop shutting ourselves down. We got to stop closing ourselves off because we think we're just, the independence is just, it's too strong at times. It doesn't make any sense. And I had to learn that. I didn't even see that that's what I was doing, trying to be too headstrong, too independent. There is such a thing. You know what I mean? But you don't want to be codependent either. Not saying that at all. You want to have a balance, but you definitely don't want to be a lone soldier all the time. That's definitely not going to work for you. Has it worked? 9 chances out of 10? Probably not. It probably was very, very almost detrimental at times, more than likely, because when you do things by yourself all the time, you carry unnecessary burdens. You go through unnecessary situations because you don't have another energy there to help out, to lessen the load, to take away from all of that pain and strain. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we need that relief. That's why we have friendships, things like that, so we can learn how to have a good exchange of give and take. That's what that's for. That's to even it out for you so that you're not suffering. You don't have to suffer in life just to be strong. That doesn't make sense. Nothing is written down that says you have to suffer in order to gain strength. That's not what that means. You live and you learn. Doesn't mean you have to punish yourself. Not at all. And that's what you're doing when you choose not to take help or to learn and be a student of life, you know? So I'll list some boundaries that are pretty, I mean, well known, but when you sit down and write them out, it'll make more sense. Time boundaries. How much time do you spend with someone or doing something? That's a huge boundary. Learning how to take advantage of time in the right way, and making sure that your time is valued just like you value someone else's. That right there is powerful. Make sure that you are not giving time away unnecessarily. You know what I mean? You don't have to do everything and be everywhere and talk to everyone. You know what I mean? Preserve that. Use your time wisely. Make sure that you're not wasting time. You're taking advantage of it, okay? Physical boundaries. This is a big one. This is one that I've always been great at. Like, if I don't want to do something, especially if it's like, you know what I mean, relationship wise or something like that, I'm not doing it. It's that simple. Like, you can't make me do anything. It's my body. I respect my body. I view my body as a temple. And I will not do anything that I don't want to do. I will reject you in a hot second. I will tell you, no, I don't care if it hurts your pride and you feel like you're in kindergarten again. I don't care. I'm not doing it. I respect myself. I'm not loose out here, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. That's that. Either get with it or bye. And I'll never fall back on that one. I'm great at that one. So people do not like it, but I love it. No, sir. Get away. Nice day to you, though. Have a blessed one. You know what I mean? So it's that simple. Like, ain't no bam bam. Thank you, ma'am, over here. No, no. So take care of yourself, especially as a woman. Please respect your body. Please. That's all I'm asking. Please respect your body as a woman. Have limits, please. God, take care of yourself. And not just with intimacy. I'm talking about in all ways. Feed yourself. Make sure that you eat well. That's something I'm working on. Make sure that you have a nice established diet. Don't be too heavy on that. Don't drive yourself crazy with it, but figure out some system of eating that works. But understand what your body needs, what it requires to function properly. Everybody's different, so it's gonna be different based on each person.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Just figure out a healthy diet. And how much space do you share with other people around you? Sometimes we have to have that alone time. You can't be around physical bodies all the time. I know I can't. I need alone time a lot. And that's a physical boundary. I can't be around too many people because I feel too much energy for that. So I can only be surrounded by other beings for a certain amount of time and then I get burnt out. That's my boundary. Maybe like an hour or two, and then I'm like, okay, I need to go recharge. You know what I mean? But that's a boundary that you have to establish for yourself. I can't tell you how long it'll take you to feel that way. I don't know you personally. So you might be able to handle being around people physically for hours on end, like 5 hours, 6 hours. I don't know. But figuring that out is definitely going to help you. That does play a role in a lot of things because being, especially if you're like an introvert, being in a crowd can be very draining for us, depending on how long we're out there and what kind of engagement we're having. You know what I mean? And of course, yes, it definitely depends on the person. So just be mindful of that. If you are an extroverted person, it might not be a big deal for you because you love being out and about. You love that physical contact. You love being around people. But introverts, we got to protect ourselves in a different way because our energy is very reserved. So we can't really be out for too long like that. But then you do want to kind of step outside of your comfort zone, push it a little bit so that you don't grow complacent or anything like that. You definitely don't want to settle, but you don't want to overexert yourself either. Find that balance, okay? Find the balance. Relationship boundaries. Oh, God. Like I said, set the guidelines between you and your close friends, your family, your partner. Everybody has to know the boundaries. It's not just romantic, it's platonic, all of the above. Like, you got to let them know, hey, can't do this. I will not do this. This is something I'm just not going to sacrifice. And honestly, I think they'll learn to understand it. They'll once you keep setting that boundary into place, and you stand true behind it, and you're strong with it, and you're adamant about it. Eventually, they may not like it, of course, but they're gonna get with it. People just fear the unfamiliar. If it's something they're not used to, and maybe they're used to you being there all the time, maybe they're used to calling you all the time, and then one day you're like, you finally just tell them, like, look, I cannot have all these phone calls every day, mom. It drives me crazy. I'm sorry. I love you to death, but I cannot. This is driving me nuts. And then, okay, it might take your mom a little while to be like, oh, wow, okay. But then eventually, I'm sure she'll come around and be like, I have to respect my child because I love my child. Do you get what I mean? So eventually they'll learn to understand where you're coming from. And I think they'll be proud of you for taking that step to protect yourself. Not that anything's wrong with them, but it's healthy to just have that sense of self, knowing what you can take and what you can't take.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Hi, I'm Jamie from the Wesofly Morning Show. Please be sure to tune in to get your daily dose of positivity and motivation. So, today we talked about setting healthy boundaries. Boundaries are a given. We have to have them. We have to set boundaries no matter how much we may think it's mean. We may think it's the wrong thing, but it's not. It's not bad to set a boundary. It's not bad to let someone know what makes you uncomfortable or what triggers you. You have to know these things because that's healthy. That's keeping your mental health in check. And we talked about improving our mental health, and boundaries is a clear way of improving your mental health for sure, because it makes sure that you work within your limits, you understand what your limits are, you work to your strengths, and you minimize those weaknesses or things that don't make you feel good. If something doesn't make you feel good, you have to pay attention to that. You have to set a boundary so that you don't put yourself in uncomfortable situations unnecessarily. One clear example would be knowing when to say no. A lot of us, we love to give. We're very giving spirits, and we just love to help as much as possible. Amen to that. But at the same time, you have to know your limits, knowing when to say, you know what, I have to pull back. I have to allow this person to do their own self-work. I can help from a distance, but today it does not require all of my energy, and it's okay to say no in those instances. If you can't do it, you just can't. It's fine. It's okay. It happens. We are not soldiers all the time. Like, we can't be that lone soldier all the time. We're not robots. We're human beings. We have limits, and that's okay to understand them. That doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make you less than. It makes you stronger, honestly, to know and to have self-restraint. You know what I mean? To know when to push forward and when to pull back. Knowing the differences is so beneficial for you, your career, and your overall growth as a being, So just know your limits and know when to say no, and set boundaries in terms of your time, your relationships, your energy. Preserve that energy and give it, when it's due. But other than that, you're going to be fine. Just speak up. Don't be afraid to speak up. Speak loud and speak proudly, and speak life into your life. Speak life into yourself, and speak nothing but love, and everything will take care of itself. So hope you all have been safe and well. And if you haven't, please be sure to subscribe, click that button, and be sure to click that bell so you're notified of when we upload. Become a part of the notification game, okay? So I appreciate every single one of you. Please stay safe and stay blessed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
I'm getting blown now.